A closer look at Shakur Stevenson allows us to take note of a man who is coming into his own. The unified super featherweight champion is on track with goals set ahead, mighty lofty. Here, we'll take a closer look at Shakur Stevenson. Unified WBC WBO super featherweight champion Shakur Stevenson is carving out a nice niche in legacy for his own career in the sport of boxing. Recently, we watched with amazement as he took on Oscar Valdez back in April of this year, where he defeated Valdez with a unanimous decision, dropping him in the 6th round, in about where I said I felt like he could have stopped Valdez had he been a little meaner and wanted to really drive home a point. Shakur Stevenson is the type of talent in boxing today that it is going to take someone very good of equal stature, equal aggression and talent, and motivation to try to defeat him, to bring the best out of him. But one of the things that I love about him is that he is a man that will say exactly what's on his mind. And notice, I call him a man. He's 25 years old and from Newark, New Jersey. Shakur is not a slouch, people. And he has plans on moving up to the 135-pound division. He wants to take on the other names, the guys at lightweight like Devin Haney, Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, and the likes. But he first has to finish some business at 130. I believe that Shakur has the type of talent that will not really get tested until he gets up into a heavier weight class, because these men where he currently is, they do not have enough talent, they do not have enough resolve, they don't even have enough ambition to want to try to challenge this young man. Oscar Valdez was a couple of years before he finally bit off more than he could chew to get in the ring with Stevenson. It was a foregone conclusion what was going to happen once they matched squares. Shakur was too much of a great boxer, too much of a great thinker, with ring IQ, talent, speed, balance. Valdez was left fending for answers, which did not come from his corner. Shakur Stevenson peppered him with jabs, gave him combinations, and set him in a direction that only he, Shakur, could set him in. and that was to turn away Valdez's challenge. Now, with a record of 18-0 and 9 KOs, Shakur is ready for what's next. As he eyes the division, there are fighters out there that many people would like to see him take on, like IBF champion Joe Cordina and WBA champion Roger Gutierrez, for those last belts that are available at super featherweight. He is far more talented than those guys, but at the same time, to go ahead and face them would do him justice, because right now, even though Undisputed is being downplayed by the PTB as well as some of the networks, because the favorable guys that they wanted to be in that position haven't quite panned out. So they've been very dismissive of the fighters who have been able to consolidate the championships and turn back the challenges of the so-called real champs or titleists at their respective divisions. You have Jermell Charlo, you have Devin Haney, and Shakur is on that fast track to joining them as soon as Cordina and Gutierrez sign the contract. One fighter of note that Shakur has been speaking on lately, because people continuously ask him about, is Tank Davis. I love what he had to say about Tank Davis, and he said that he was going to stop talking about Davis if Davis is not talking about him. He says he's not going to just go on the lead of the media who are trying to put these men together. They can face each other at any given time, but he's not going to allow the outer forces to put this together, because he understands the politics. Even his promoter, Top Rank, and Bob Arum did not want to see him in with Valdez. When they were on the press conference for this fight, Bob Arum left the stage. First time that he's done that for a main event fighter in his stable, that he just didn't want to sit there. Bob has ulterior motives, people, and he has biases that even to this day he'll deny, but actions speak volumes. Shakur didn't say anything about it. He turned his focuses to Valdez, reminding him, just don't cheat. I love it. He told the man this in front of his face, just as he told the reporters recently about stop asking him about Tank Davis. He wants to focus on what he's doing, and with his WBC and WBO titles, he knows that he is in the driver's seat. Hell be damned with Top Rank and Bob Arum. And as long as he's fighting the way he is and getting better, bigger, and stronger by the day, he can write that ticket. I love the fact that he says people try to twist my words and they want me and him to be against each other so badly. Speaking of Tank Davis, he says they keep putting a narrative out there. Every time he does an interview, he says, they're asking me about Tank. It ain't just me talking about him. I don't ever bring his name up and what he's doing good for what he is doing. He said, I'm happy to see him from the trenches in Baltimore. I'm happy to see what he's doing. He says, I think it's definitely realistic of us fighting, but the thing people forget is that we're going to clear out our divisions. That's right. That's the way, Shakur. Take the brass by the horns. And Tank should do the same. All this calling out that Ryan Garcia has done for Tank Davis, Tank should focus on Devin Haney. Because Devin Haney is an undisputed champion. The real champion. with all of the consolidated titles. Though Tank has had a different type of title, it's not the ones that Devin has. So sooner or later, these matches are going to have to take place. And I have to say, both men, Haney as well as Davis, need to watch out for Shakur Stevenson. He may be the smartest fighter out of the three, with the highest ring IQ and possibly the higher upside. Yeah, this is what you see from Shakur Stevenson, and it's going to be exciting because as he moves up, he'll just be stronger and he'll be more dangerous. He talked about Devin being big and seeing Devin going up to 147. But Tank won't be going too many places too fast. And they are the two that may end up really facing each other at the end of the day. My money is on Shakur because Shakur seems to have an upside that a lot of people don't want to pay attention to. Those boxing skills and ring IQ can carry you a long way. And you can ask Oscar Valdez about that jab. Also Jamel Herring. What do you think about Shakur Stevenson and what do you see on the horizon for him? This is Stormy B-Man. That's all I have for you at this time. Leave comments and let's discuss. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let's all take a closer look at Shakur Stevenson because I definitely think he's worth the view. And contrary to what top-ranking Bob Arum thinks, he's a man on the rise. And you better catch that train while it's available because otherwise you're gonna miss out. Until we meet again, peace, and everybody remain safe.